Right, we are talking to an old friend of the Business Breakfast now, going through the latest FDI numbers to come out of Dubai. Dubai seeing a near 90% increase in the amount of greenfield FDI projects that it attracted last year. We're very pleased to be joined by Rudolf Lochmeyer, who is a partner at the National Transformations Institute of Kearney, Middle East, and speaks to us this morning from Riyadh. Good morning, Rudolf.
Good morning, dear friends.
So when we're talking about greenfield FDI in this instance, Rudolf, what kind of thing are we talking about?
We're looking at wholly new areas, and a greenfield investment, of course, is an investment in a domain where nothing has previously been built. So where investors see a truly new opportunity.
Why is that so important to Dubai at the moment?
I think the reason in general that metric is so important in a way is because of what it tells us about the world, because it is an indicator of the future. A greenfield investment, by definition, has a return time frame that is longer than an investment to enhance an existing project. And so greenfield investments tell us about the future for Dubai as a city centered on harnessing and capturing and being exceptionally ready, if you will, first to the future. It's not surprising in many ways that it's leading in this category.
Okay, let's put it in a wider context, though. We saw a 90% increase in the number of projects, an 80% increase, I'm rounding up, in the amount of capital that came in for them. Was 2022 a particularly good year, or did we buck some trends?
2022 was a particularly good year for Dubai because of the trends. I think that's what's most interesting for me about these results. As you know, Dubai once again rose in our Global Cities Index. The UAE remains a leading performer in our Foreign Direct Investment Confidence Index, which is a forward-looking index. And here we see the fruit of those forecasts in a way coming to bear. And I think it's a function of what's happening in the world. In a world that is geopolitically divided, a city like Dubai that is in a country that is premised on geopolitical balance and geoeconomic balance between the great powers is particularly attractive, benefits from flows from both in what is otherwise a divided world. In a world of instability and uncertainty, stable governance, stable politics is extremely attractive. So in countless ways, ironically, a global city in a deglobalizing world, if it can retain its balance, can do exceptionally well.
And yet, I look at the list of who has been investing, and I expect to see CIS and Eastern Europe at the top, as you say, global instability, but instead, it's Canada.
Growth. So in the case of much of the world, as you know, as the central bankers of the world and the fiscal policymakers struggle to get inflation under control, and as the IMF recently confirmed, the growth outlook for the world is tepid at best and negative at worst. And in the legacy economies, finding growth is extremely, extremely difficult, and liquidity is also a challenge. So then in that context, Dubai, a city which is willing to invest together with foreign investors to create opportunities of growth, and with the demographics of the region, with the growth and the remaining strength, by the way, the underlying hydrocarbon economy shouldn't be forgotten, then it represents an island of long-term growth in an ocean of rather, shall we say, gloominess, an ocean of rather gloomy economic outlook.
Okay, so it was a good year for us, but we still only attracted 4% of the global total. The US got 20%, the UK got 13%. What do we do to make our slice of the pie bigger?
Well, you know, some of that slice of the pie is driven simply by the size of the market. And so what Dubai has relentlessly done, as has the UAE, is to increase the addressable market available to investors by investing here through trade agreements, notably with Africa, but with the rest of the world, and it is doing so. So I think that's the key answer to the question you've just asked. For those large markets, they have a large market unto themselves. For small countries, being a global gateway, a global hub, a bridge, so that investors coming here have access to a very large addressable market is fundamental strategic imperative, in addition to good governance, of course, and everything else.
Well, you're speaking to us this morning from Riyadh, which obviously has a concerted push to increase the amount of inward investment it gets as well. What does that competition mean for the region? Does it help or hinder the region to have these different centres all chasing big companies and big investments?
It's a race to the top. So I guess and perhaps I reveal my American bias, but I'm a believer in the value of competition if it's ordered, structured, and rule-based. And so I think what we're seeing is two brotherly countries that are extremely linked to each other and always will be. But in an economic competition based on rule-based attractiveness to foreign direct investors in an environment where data is increasingly clear, what does that do? It's a race to the top. Who can do it best? And so I think both, in a way, benefit from the fact that they have someone to push them to the next level, how to differentiate. And also, it's important to say that while there is some direct competition, there's also a significant degree of complementarity. There are different narratives to the two countries, and there are many investors who are able to take advantage of investments in both places. But still, the bottom line is that the competition is a race to the top.
20 seconds left with you, Rudolph. 1 quarter into 2023, how's it looking so far FDI-wise?
Well, globally, for the FDI, for Dubai and for the UAE, it's unclear. I don't have visibility into that. Globally, we expect FDI to increase this year, in fact, not just even in a deglobalizing world, but because of it. In a world that's more fragmented, companies need to have a presence in the markets in which they want to operate. And for that reason, I think we'll see, and by the way, our FDI Confidence Index indicates FDI will increase.
Rudolph Lochmeyer is a partner at the National Transformations Institute of Kearney, Middle East, speaking to us this morning from Riyadh in Saudi Arabia.
Keep locked here on Dubai 103.8 and Dubai One TV. Why opportunities to